don't even know who you're going to bounce with right now, so we're not going to preempt anybody before or after you. Appreciate you coming in.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Do you have another job, or?
I work at St. Francis.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. Okay, Ben, 14, are you ready? Did you turn the video on?
Videos on. Everything's on 14 now.
This is Joan with the Joan Jerkovich Show, 910 KINA. We're going to do something a little different this morning. We have a stand-up comic here. His name is Roamie Lee, and he has been doing comedy for a number of years. Got started about 8 years ago here in Salina at the place we all remember as JC's Bar and Grill. And he mostly does his gigs down in Wichita. So, hi Roamie, good to see you.
Hello, how you doing?
So tell me about what you do down there in Wichita and where you have your act.
Usually at the Looney bin. Perform down there quite a bit. They also have independent shows down there on the weekends sometimes. Some buddies of mine put them on.
Now, what's an independent show?
Just not at a comedy place. It's like a bar show.
Oh,
like
so
a nightclub.
Different clubs.
Yeah.
Right. And the Looney Bin has, then I would assume, a lineup of people that they bill for each show?
Yeah.
Or is it like an open mic?
Well, they have an open mic every Wednesday down there at 8 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have a professional show after that. And then Thursday, Friday and Saturday, they have 2 shows at 8 and 10:30. But they're like professional touring comics. It's a professional show. So
they have to charge admission for people to come in.
Yeah.
Because it's a true comedy club. They charge a door fee. And how much is that?
I think it's $8 on the weeknights, and the weekends I think are $10.
Right.
Unless there's a special big name act.
Right. What kind of big names have you seen come through there even?
Ralphie May's going to be there the 13th and 14th of September.
Is that a comic you follow? Now he's the great big guy, am I thinking?
Yeah, he lost a lot of weight. He was on
Celebrity
yeah,
Fit Club or whatever that was, lost, but he's back, isn't he? He's gained it all back.
I don't know if he's gained it all back. He was like almost 800 pounds. I think he's
oh
like
my
400
gosh.
now.
Yeah, he's not 800 now.
No.
So. Yeah. So I'm surprised, that he was on Fit Club. He should have been on that bariatric surgery. So much for trying to lose that kind of weight on an exercise bike or a treadmill. I'm going for the fast stuff. Yeah.
Pretty expensive. I've looked into it.
Yeah. Well,
I don't think I would be as funny if I wasn't fat. Not that I don't have all fat jokes, but.
So you do use that sometimes. I mean, I know a lot of comics do that. They use their physique or their.
You're not maybe negative, I'm saying, but what's, black comics talk about being black, Mexican comics talk about being, fat comics talk about fat stuff.
And you can make fun of yourself. It's just a little harder shtick when you're trying to make fun of other people.
They say that's the first rule in comedy. If you can laugh at yourself, then you can make fun of other people. So.
Like Kathy Griffin, she's my favorite. What do you think of her?
She's funny. I like her. She's not one of my favorites, but I do like her.
Yeah.
I mean...
She gets herself in horrible trouble all the time. I mean, first of all, because she's always attacking celebrities. She's always saying something about Celine Dion, which is fine with me because I'm not a Celine fan. She's Celine, Britney Spears. I'm trying to think of who else she's always on. She's even dissed Oprah. Can you believe she had what it takes to do that?
Yeah, I mean, you have to.
That's sacred ground. That's sacred ground.
I just watched a video documentary on called I Am Comic, and Roseanne Barr said, when you're writing material and attempting to be funny, you can't be concerned with where the line is. And that's probably a great piece of advice for any comic that's starting out.
Right.
If you're worried about offending people, I mean, because there's a lot of comics that do, but you can't worry about it. I do. I've had people walk out of shows before.
But don't you have something of a license when you get up there and you're billed as a comic that you're going to cross boundaries?
Yeah, I
mean,
think so.
Seriously, I'm not going to come to a comedy club and not think they're going to make fun of. I mean, is it still okay to make fun of gays or to make fun of, or what's politically correct anymore?
I do.
Or can you make fun of poor people? Jerry Springer went to that crowd, kind of the low rent group in a way, so.
Yeah,
they seem to be fair game.
I don't think there should be anything really off limits. If you're in a bar or a comedy club and it's consenting adults,
right,
you've got to understand that you're going to hear things you might not agree with, and then you're free to leave though.
Exactly.
If you'd like to cause a ruckus with the manager and get your money back, you could do that, or you could just. Nobody. I don't think any comics intentionally try to offend their audience, but it happens sometimes.
And then you get the hecklers. How do you deal with hecklers? What do they say? Don't use any curse words here, but
I don't deal with them.
Get the whatever.
I don't deal with them. I just
stage.
ignore them. I ignore them, or I acknowledge them and tell them that that's what I'm going to do is ignore them. But.
Yeah. What's one of the shticks you do that, if you keep it clean, that you do that gets your best laughs? What's your most successful storyline? Or
I don't know. I don't really. That's a hard question.
Do you mix them up? Do you do your own writing, or
yeah, I do all my own writing.
Oh wow!
Yeah. A lot of people don't know that though. I have a really good friend that's seen me perform a few times, and he was just till a couple weeks ago we had this conversation. He was under the impression that all comics just go to the internet and get their jokes. Like there's some huge database of unused jokes on the internet that people use.
Yeah.
He's like, you write your own joke? I'm like, yeah, I write my own jokes.
Yeah, you kind of have to because you've got to be unique and original in some way. So
a lot of it's like day-to-day stuff, like you see in the news, and then you have to separate it. If it's something that's topical that's only going to be able to be used for like a month, go ahead and use it. But if it's something you can turn into something you can use for a while, but
right. So do you ever have any of those characters we hear about? You said in the news, you know, like Octomom or Snooki that you pick on?
Yeah, I pick on Snooki quite a bit on Twitter.
Oh, I love that. Tell me what you like to say about Snooks.
She said something this morning about she likes to go by the construction sites and ask them what they're building. And this morning it was a sewage drain. Or I said, or as I like to refer to it, a career catcher. Because that's where it's probably...
Where her career's heading, to the sewage drain. Yeah, I don't know about that. She's actually more popular than ever, I think.
There's nothing really... I mean, yeah.
She wrote a novel. Did you know that Snooki wrote a real novel?
I did not know that.
Yes. It's a fiction novel. It's not a Jersey Shore takeoff or, How to Be a Snooki or whatever like that. It's a real novel. Can you imagine that? Is she smart enough to do that?
She's not portrayed on TV to be that smart, but there's a lot of editing that goes into them shows too.
Right.
Because people don't want to see smart on TV.
Right. No, they want to see her flailing around half drunk with her thong
it's the Jerry Springer
and
effect.
doing cartwheels.
There's really no new celebrities that are good at anything the last 5 years. It's all reality stuff like that. And
I love to pick on reality people. Let's pick on them. Who do you like? What reality star do you like to pick on besides Snooki?
I like to keep up with the Kardashians
I love
quite a
the
bit
Kardashians.
I'm not sure, other than Kim Kardashian being beautiful, what she's done. I'm not sure. I asked her on Twitter the other day. I did not get a response.
What did you ask? So you tweet Kim. So what did you tweet?
Well, if you follow somebody, you can use their name and then they can see what you say.
Yes.
She said something about being on the MTV Awards, and I watched that just to hate on it. I enjoy hating things, and there's a lot to hate watching MTV because they don't play music anymore. They're like, it's probably
they aren't. They've become reality too. They're not doing music.
They got the highest ratings ever for any show on MTV for the VMAs the other night, and it was horrible. It was just like the only performance on there that was good was Adele and Beyonce.
So the production value was pretty bad, you thought?
The music is bad.
So what other things you like to hate on with Kim? What about marrying this guy after 6 months? What's that all about? And then what's the other sister married the guy after 1 month? But that seems to be working. I bet on that.
You watched the show though?
I sure do.
Did you see when they x-rayed her butt?
Yes, they x-rayed to see if she had implants.
Yeah, I said the only thing they found in there was Reggie Bush's ability to score touchdowns. Because every athlete that she's with, their career goes down the drain. So she married a nobody basketball guy that nobody knows now, so he can only go up from now.
Well, yeah, we all know his name because of her, exactly.
Yeah.
But I guess she got tired, or her sisters even got to believing all the stuff they found on the internet about how she truly had implants. So she goes to her family doctor, who I think is kind of cute, I have to admit. I'm kind of entranced with her cute family doctor, who seems pretty young for her, since he's been with the family for so long. But she went and x-rayed, and sure enough, she doesn't have implants, which seriously, who really believed that? It's just something to talk about, But what about the others, that Chloe? She's kind of married to Lamar Odom. She's kind of a feisty one. She'll say anything. I mean, they're always bleeping her out because she's always saying something very sexual that's trying to get a rise out of Bruce.
They're making like
stepdad.
a 4-hour special on the wedding that just happened.
Right,
I was hoping
right.
that, what's the other one's name? Courtney?
Yes,
Her-
the one with the baby daddy,
Yeah.
Scott, who's
A
alcohol
jerk off,
troubles.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Can I say that?
We'll
A
have to
jerk.
find out.
A jerk. I was hoping, like, he's the most entertaining part of the show to me. I was hoping
Is he really?
I was hoping he would just get hammered drunk and like
Yeah, yeah.
plow into the cake and ruin everything.
At the wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd
Well,
like
he
to
kind
see
of
bad
did
things
that.
happen to people
He
like that.
kind of did that down in New York. Wasn't that in New York
Mhm.
where he smashed his fist into the mirror and had to go to the emergency room
Yeah.
and all that?
If he could
So-
reenact that at the wedding, it would be.
Yeah,
I didn't hear
yeah.
anything on.
So you tend to identify with the jerks, huh?
They're just funny to
Scott
me. They're
just-
just a train wreck, and they're funny to me
Yeah.
because they don't. Maybe it's just the way it's depicted on TV, but he doesn't seem to show any remorse.
Well, no, that's not in his
He's just like-
personality, and he's not going to.
Yeah.
Right, right. How about Octomom? Have you ever hit on her? Have you ever made
A
fun of
couple
her in
years
your
ago.
act? Well, I know she's kind of passe a little bit right now, but what's her situation strike you as a comic?
I did. Actually did. It was Jimmy's benefit show a couple years ago. I don't know if he talked. I don't think he
No,
talked about
no.
that. They do charity benefits here in town
Oh.
for needy families, and they did like a Toys for Tot type drive last
Mhm.
December. And I always host them shows for them. And a couple years ago, when the Octomom was in the news, it was the Saturday before Easter. So I said that I was actually going to go to California and hide her eggs for her.
That's great.
I thought it was. That's one of those
Yeah,
topical. I can only use that joke one time, and then
Yeah,
it's old
yeah.
and it's over.
Let's pull out her eggs and hide those guys, and at Easter time, that's pretty bad. Yeah, she got quite a grilling, I have to say, from Dr. Drew Pinsky, who's got his new talk show, and he had her on. And I'm telling you, it was interesting in a sense because the woman was absolutely manic. I mean, if you know anything about bipolar,
Mhm.
and the manic people just can't quit talking, and in fact, he kind of grabbed her arm at one point and kind of, okay, settle down, you know, which if someone's truly manic, that's not going to go very far, you know, you need the heavy duty meds, you know, grabbing their arm and being nice isn't going to do it, so, but, you know, that was a pretty bizarre thing. How many kids does she actually even have?
She had the 8, and
Eight,
she had 2
she
more,
had
didn't
6
she?
when she got implanted with 8, and she's got 14 or something like that. And you know what's also interesting about her is how she has made so much money being Octomom
Yeah.
and is broke, dead broke.
Yep.
And Susie Orman, who's Oprah's financial guru,
Yeah.
really got her hard, hit her hard on an Oprah show about that, because you know if you'd have managed this, you'd have had the money for your children their whole life.
Mhm. And she's a celebrity for pretty much nothing.
For nothing, for kind of being the big-lipped Angelina Jolie look-alike, you know, bad representation of that. So any other celebs that you like to pick on, that we can pick on, or
like any of
quasi-reality celebs?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't really like any of them.
You don't?
I don't like much of anything. I'm a curmudgeon, I guess, at heart.
So does that play well with your comedy?
Yeah, because I can
You kind of get
I can make stuff like that funny usually.
Uh-huh.
I'm kind of angry, but it's. I realized that I was doing a show in Wichita probably about a year ago on a Tuesday night. It was we used to do this thing down there called the Tuesday Night Comedy Review.
Mm-hmm.
And I always have my set in my head how I'm going to do it. And about halfway through, I just went off track and just started ranting about my day and how horrible my day had been. And nothing I was saying was funny to me, but everybody was laughing. And it hit me at that point that people love to see other people miserable.
Exactly.
It's entertaining.
They love
And if
to
it's funny,
see you in pain
Yeah.
and miserable. And you
Yeah.
weren't really trying to be funny. You just went off.
I just went off on a tangent, and they were just eating it up, and I'm like, that's what we are.
That's kind of sick.
That's what we are as a society now.
Yeah, that's kind of sick compliment to our commentary on our society being, you know, like, I want to see, you know, your failure, I want to see your pain. And actually, you know, when you think about it, that's kind of how all these reality shows are edited.
Those
We
comments
want
are
to
like
see
that
you
too.
fail. We want to see you mess up. We want to see you do something stupid like Snooki always seems to do.
When we do open mics down in Wichita, like all the guys I do comedy with down there, the local guys, like when a joke bombs, like we laugh harder than anybody in the back of the room.
Yeah, I
because
can see
our counterparts
that.
are up there struggling.
I can see that,
That's
Roamie.
funny to us.
Yeah. And we're going to have to take a quick break, and we'll get right back with the Joan Jerkovich Show, 910 KINA. We're going to run out of time. Ben, when you do your thing, bring them right up to here, because I can't see you there so much, because I don't.
Okay.
Love the